first it started with one person and and then there were two people, and then people would say, oh well, I'll go and try it. It's a safe environment, and we have people who have a lot of talent but were afraid to use it or just kept it private. So there's a little bit of coming out and being your psychic self when you come here. And then there are the people that have no skills but they think, so we coach them. And in modern day, the sword is the pen, so writing is probably a very good option. Where do you learn if there's nobody talking about what's in your head, what you're interested in? And so what we do at the Psychic Roundtable is to create a community. People who have lots of psychic experience, people who have none but are interested, and when we sit down at the table, we're all just learning and having fun. Plus we get to visit and we get to talk to each other, and so a sense of community that I didn't have really until the Psychic Roundtable started to grow. I'm going to start with people who are new to the table and have never been here. I'm going to ask you, Nicole, if you'd ask the first question, and the rest of us will read for you using whatever tool you want to use. When people come to the Psychic Roundtable, we have 4 or 5 people around a table. If there are more, we'll have 2 tables. And each person asks a question, whatever they want to ask for advice. And everybody else around the table will use whatever psychic tool they want to use. Some people channel, some people will use crystals, some people will use tarot, some people will use any of the oracle cards here at the Purple Door, and they will tap into their skills and answer the question.
I myself, as Marilyn, when we were getting interested in it more and looking for places and people to share, there's no place around. So it was really hard. There was only one store here in Kingston. It was called the Treasure Garden at that time, and that was the only place that you could actually really get to know like-minded people. So the Roundtable is really great because we can meet people and share and get to know more people in the community, which is great.
As I continue on my journey, learning about these different techniques, I really hope to just become more proficient and more secure in what I'm doing. Obviously, when you first start in this whole journey, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of skepticism, but the more you do it, the more you practice, the more involved you are with it on a routine basis, you actually can become pretty good at it, and you can gain that confidence that helps you to continue.
But I think maybe that is the problem with everyone. Everyone's insecure. There's always an insecure part of somebody. Mm-hmm. Everyone has that in themselves.
Even though for years people had told me, oh, you know things, and I did know things, but I was full of doubt, and I didn't have anyone to talk to. So it was, well, I'll just go with the book and then put the book down and then just start reading the cards and as you say, practice, practice, practice. But the thing that I really missed was having other people to talk to who felt and thought the same way that I do. So that was, once I started to talk to other people who were interested in psychic things and were doing readings, and we could share what we saw and what we knew, it took off from there. That was just the beginning of the beginning. And then death is the end of the path.
The interesting thing about it is that when, at least it was my personal experience, that when you first indicate an interest in all things weird and unusual, you sort of get shunned, you know. Most people aren't really accepting of this type of thing. To meet other people and to be exposed to different opinions is very beneficial because it just gives you a whole new perspective. You can sort of get entrenched, I guess, in your own thought patterns and your own ideas as to how things should work or how things should turn out for you. But when you meet others, especially those who are learning, because we're all just learning, right? It's just, you know, a journey for each and every one of us. You learn to take it less seriously, You learn to try different things, experiment a little bit more than you probably would, and it just makes it a lot more fun.
My belief is that there should be a community of all mediums or readers so that you know each other, and it's not like a competition, it's more of a friendship in my point of view. And so the Roundtable is great because you get to know other readers in the community too, or people who are not actual readers out there in the working world. If they have an interest, they can talk to other people who are doing it.
Well, they say the death card is not always a bad card. It's a good card. Yeah. So there you go. Maybe new beginnings.
When we're all talking and chatting and sharing what we're doing, you can see what somebody else brings to the table, what skills. You can look through the eyes of a newbie and see a different way of looking at a card that you may have missed. I mean, I've done thousands of readings this year, but I may be missing something very new and interesting. So I learn too. It's so much fun coaching people and seeing the aha. See the light come on when they say something and they have a psychic moment and the courage to say it out loud. And when you can see that they've been thinking of something, and then others around the table will say something similar. And the lights come on and they know at that moment that they have psychic ability. For me, that's a real plus and a real fun moment.